what was your name again? For my records.
My mother called me Reginald, but I never liked that growing up. So all of the other wyvern hunters, they called me Boots because of my big boots.
Okay.
Also, yeah, good. Yeah, they called me Boots.
Hello, everyone. Hello, fellow geeks. Thank you all for joining us for this little recording of Stewpot. This was a game that recently came to BackerKit, and we backed it. It was successfully backed. It was wildly successful. So I'm sure if you missed it, that is sad, but I'm sure it'll be coming soon and become available to a wider group. So, you know, you can decide if this kind of game seems like your vibe. It is a cozy, role-playing, very like free-flowing, I would even say kind of like feelsy game. I think we're going to feel some feelings today.
Ridiculous.
Which ones?
I don't know if that's in my contract. I don't think I'm allowed to feel feelings.
Sorry, Will. I did not prep you for that. But and we have two not totally brand new faces to our channel, but two returning visitors that we haven't seen for a while. We have Will and Bill joining us today on this lovely adventure. I will give you guys the floor to introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about you as players, then we'll kind of go through who we're all playing today. And I'll start with Bill because I can tell he didn't want me to.
I was just being polite. Yeah, hey, it's me, Bill. I'm back again. The last thing I did was Vase in the last one that I played properly? Maybe the second Vason sessions. But no, I've been here a few times, done some Vason, done some tabletop treasure hunters, done some weird space RPGs, and a whole bunch of fun different things. And it's always very enjoyable. I always love being here to play a game, and I'm back to play another one. If you want to check out other stuff that I do in the world, I'm usually a puzzle podcaster person, doing Escape This podcast, where you can hear audio escape rooms, Solve This Murder, where you can hear audio murder mysteries. I've been doing a lot of guest episodes on Tom Scott's podcast Lateral, if you want to hear me solve lateral thinking questions. And if you want to wish list Rise of the Golden Idol, I'm working on as part of the writing team for a very cool puzzle video game that you should all go check out. That's all of my things, and I'm ready to open a tavern and just settle down. Just relax. No need to adventure anymore. It's time to have the adventure of being part of a community. That's what I'm prepared for today.
Lovely. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is exciting, Bill, because you've not been on our podcast before, because our podcast didn't exist when we were playing
True.
Basin.
All of these stories are all Twitch experiences.
Yes. So people who are listening,
welcome to Bill.
Yeah, welcome to Bill.
If you're a pure podcast listener, fair enough. That's the usual place that I live. So I'm excited for my podcast debut.
Yay! And Will, welcome. We're so happy to have you playing with us today as well. Who are you?
Thanks. I'm Will.
How did you get here?
I walked into my office and logged into the internet.
And we were there.
There were some phone numbers that were dialed. No, I don't. Hey, I'm Will Munn, and I was also on the previous incarnation. I think the last thing that probably we did together was a Tales of Zadia stream. A couple of those.
That was a really long time ago.
It was a minute ago. It was really fun, though. I enjoyed that a lot.
Fun.
Is that before or after the second Wanderhome playthrough?
Oh, I might have been there for the Wanderhome playthrough, actually. Yeah, good question. Might
Two
have been one of
cozy
those
games
two.
in a row.
Yeah, I'm a cozy game expert now.
And here you are playing another one with us.
Yeah, and you can follow me. I am a TikTok sensation known for my cozy game RPG repartee. No, just kidding. I run Adept Icarus, which is a game design and publishing studio for primarily TTRPGs. We have the Arium line of games, which includes Arium Create, which We were really lucky to be nominated for a few Ennies one year, and then we've been coasting on those fumes ever since. So yeah, it's been really great. Love playing TTRPGs, making TTRPGs, running TTRPGs, all those things. That's it's what I get up for. So anyway, I'm excited to be here.
I love it.
Really like this game. I actually played it once in a really early iteration off of itch. I think it was like the 0.3 or 0.4 version. I can't remember.
Well,
for
you're
sure,
going to be the resident expert then.
No. That was like a lifetime ago now.
I'm going to embarrass M and, well, I don't know. I don't think Will is necessarily embarrassed about this, but I'm going to plug M because M and Will have been working on a really cool project for a long time. So that's another reason that we are hanging out with Will these days. M, what is that project? What are you working on?
Man, you really put me on the spot, Tori.
I did. I'm not
love it
sorry.
So much. No, Vi is a tarot and dice RPG about rising and falling ages across many different dimensions and the powerful people behind them that come together and save the worlds when they start to grow dark. It's about forming a pact. It's about being the Merlin of your world, rising up your champion, and struggling to find an artifact that turns the tides.
And it's a game that you're making.
Yeah, and it's a game that I'm making. It's about 18 months almost in the making, and we're gonna launch in Q1 of next year. And we've got artists. We got 22 different artists we're working with, and our plates are very full. We're working many hours every week and constantly on Discord making stuff happen. It's a good time.
I don't know what you're talking about, Em. I think I have at least like 12 minutes left over every day. Yeah.
Here I am, minutes. Every minute dedicated. Come on, Will, get on my level.
And yet you guys are carving out a chunk of your Saturday to play this silly game with me, which I appreciate. All right, that being said, why don't we briefly introduce our characters and then we can build a tavern together, which is sort of step one of this game. I guess I'm talking. I'll start. I'm playing. My character is Pharaoh Lightfeather. She is a half-orc. She's tall and strong and well-built. She was a ranger. That's sort of her adventurer job, although this game is all about hanging up the adventurer's cloak and becoming a tavern keeper. So she was a ranger. She wears her hair in a top knot and the sides of her head are shaved. She has a few talents as a ranger. She always knows true north. She has an animal companion, which is a raven named Corvus. For any of you Baldur's Gate fans.
Boring.
That
boring
is absolutely
name.
Where I got that name.
Oh, I've got a raven. What's it called? It's called Raveny the Raven.
Listen, she's not known for her creativity. She's very practical. And I think
Here's
that's
my
reflected.
magical sword. I have named it. I have called it Saber the Sword.
Exactly. Doesn't need anything else. It's very functional. And she's good at tracking. And in the town, her town job is being the lookout. So that is Pharaoh. We can go back around kind of in the order I guess we just talked. So Bill, who are you playing?
I'm playing a dwarf named Dugbore Beach. That is B-E-E-C-H for people playing along at home. He is a tree. He has never seen the ocean. Fun fact about Dugbore Beach, never seen the ocean. I know, it's crazy.
Missing out.
And Dugbore spent a long time living alone in the forest as a druid. People would turn up every now and then, but he fled his sort of hometown a long time ago. He didn't like dealing with people. He wasn't very comfortable in a social setting, so he moved to the forest and he lived there for decades. just, people would approach and ask him for boons and spells and help, and he would do it. He'd help people out. He liked seeing people occasionally. And eventually he met up with all of you and formed an adventuring group, and the idea of settling down and maybe dealing with people again seemed less and less strange, and his life in the forest seemed more and more lonely. And so now he's hanging out in town. He's got a job as a farmer, still able to sort of retreat to his little farm if he needs to. But really, he's more part of the community now. And I'm sitting here thinking, what is Doug Boar's voice? And I don't know.
Well, you have Will's intro and M's intro to think about it, I suppose.
We'll have to get
also,
there.
Did you mention his adventure job?
He's a druid. I think I mentioned it. He is a druid. He cannot talk to animals. For people wondering if you're at home thinking, druid, he can talk to animals. He can't talk to animals, but he can grow plants very well, and he can shape the earth to his will. That's not necessarily his voice. And he can shape the earth to his will. We'll find it.
Okay. Awesome. Will, who are you playing today?
I'll be playing Chef Sherbs. Chef Sherbs is a very large human of indeterminate gender. And you'll find Chef Sherbs can make probably a mean chowder out of just about anything. However, you have to like chowder, I guess. But his background, or their background, was as a swashbuckler and spent a lot of time around the sea and is probably continually mortified by the fact that Dugboard Beach has never seen the ocean. So we may have to come to terms with that.
Maybe we have to take a field trip. Maybe we need a beach episode as part of this game.
A Dugboard Beach episode.
Yeah.
That's it.
Awesome.
Yes.
And your town, what's your town job now? I guess it's in the name.
Yeah. Yep. It's
I'm
in
the
name.
professional Sherbs.
That's right.
All right, who are you?
I am playing Vesca Fonder. Yes, I'm a little desert mouseker. And adorable, dangerous, of course. I have a pouch with components and bandoliers crossed every which way, filled with vials. And I cover all those mostly with my long jacket with many pockets. But it's very cold, not in the desert, which is where I'm originally from. So I must wear a well-knit scarf at all times to keep me warm. I lose too much heat from these ears. And of course, Vesker has humongous ears, being a desert mouse, and they twitch and turn and tend to spy on people's conversation, which is admittedly a little rude.
But that's okay. We love Vesker for it.
Okay.
I love Vesker despite it.
All right, let's build a tavern together. How are all of these weirdos going to come together under one roof? So in this game, as I said, you start with building a tavern, and you do that collectively. So the first thing we have to decide is the size and scale of where we're living, where our tavern is located, town or city. We could be in a big bustling metropolis, or we could be sort of a lonely stop off the side of the road, off in the middle of nowhere. What are you guys feeling? What's calling to you? I mean, Doug Boar purposely wanted to move towards civilization. I don't know if Doug Boar is ready for like being dropped in the middle of a huge city, but
yeah, Doug, we're all just fresh off the boat on Ellis Island, ready to make our way in the big city.
It's a very American reference from you, Bill.
Oh, I'm sorry. We've just jumped off in Botany Bay. Does that help? Does that resonate with a global audience?
Yes, thank you. My immersion is complete now.
Good. No, I think my brain is picturing just like kind of, I don't know, based on the setting, it's adventurers in a tavern, and I'm picturing that sort of like small but surprisingly has a lot of things in it, sort of fantasy community that you know, it's like we're setting
like
up a tavern.
Town.
Yeah, the start of an adventure kind of a town is what I've been picturing, but I'm in no way married to the idea. I'd happily live in a booming fantasy metropolis.
I like the idea of a sort of moderate town as well. Am I
A little town,
nodding?
like a little
The quiet village.
Yeah, every day.
Just like the one before.
Just like the one before.
I feel like perhaps this is kind of a small town, but it is bustling because there is a nearby threat that has to be maintained by adventurers.
Oh, like
either
yeah.
something that
that's
has to
always pouring things out, or a dangerous forest with rare beasties. Something like that would be fun.
That is fun. That would kind of put us off the beaten path, or like away from a major city, because no major city would want to be built next to some sort of hazard like that.
It's
There's
got that
so
sort
much
of
work.
to continue my. Well, you know, we had a gold rush. It's perfectly fine. It's one of those sort of. It's like a gold rush town, right? It's
Yes.
like everyone's been like, well, there's stuff here that everyone wants.
Yeah.
That's
So we need a
where my
town.
head went as well. Yeah.
We'd like a
I
town
like
here,
that.
but instead of gold, it's dragon eggs.
Monsters or
The
something.
dragon egg town. The dragon egg economy is booming.
There's
People
I love
just
that.
swiping eggs from dragon nests? That's a little sad.
There is a huge, like a wyvern cavern that's just like dug into the ground, and it's like this huge cliffside with nests all along, and they're pests, really.
Yeah. And also,
Okay.
if it helps you feel better, dragons or wyverns don't, they're like chickens, right? Most of the eggs aren't fertilized.
Mm-hmm.
They have a natural hoarding mindset. They love to hoard, and they like to sit on piles of gold, and it sort of developed that it's just like a sexual selection thing. The ones that had more and more unfertilized eggs looked like they had a bigger and bigger hoard, and so they sort of naturally sexually selected for like chicken style daily eggs, even though they're not fertilized, because it made their hoard look bigger, and
I
then they
love
were a
this.
more attractive
This
mate.
is really
And then
impressive world
wyverns sort of
building.
evolved to be more frequent egg depositors.
Egg
Sorry, I
layers?
ruined it by saying depositor at the end.
No, I think that
perfectly
makes
fine.
sense.
We're not killing baby wyverns.
No.
We're just
I
collecting wyverns.
needed some justification. Pharaoh is a nature lover, as is Dugbor, I would assume. So
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
all right.
I guess you're more into the land than the ant.
It just is part of it. It's not
the
about whether you
fauna,
like
but-
or don't like nature. You're just part of it either way.
That's fair. So we've got sort of a small-ish town, but a bustling one nonetheless. A well-traveled town.
Lots of people
What's-
coming in for the first time, right?
Yeah,
They don't
yeah.
live here. They're just here as like,
An influx of people.
I'm here to hunt to get dragon eggs.
to get dragon eggs. The environment. You mentioned some cliffs because we need some cliffs where these wyverns are.
Have we
setting
moved to
up
the sea?
their-
Is this are these
Well,
seaside
I was
cliffs?
kind of wondering, like, is this Dugbor? Like, we dragged Dugbor out to the sea because we're like, you have to see the ocean, and Chef Sherbs, presumably you would know how to work with a lot of seafood because of your experience
In Chowder.
in chowder.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh no, you can be assured that anything Chef Sherbs cooks has some form of seafood in it, even if you
Okay.
didn't want it to
So
be there.
maybe we all decided it was for the best if we moved to fresher ingredients, because if we were getting fish all the way in the middle of the continent, that would be a little dicey.
Yeah, but essential desert sushi.
Scrambled
It's not
eggs,
so good.
probably a little halibut in there.
Mm.
Okay, so we've got some seaside cliffs. So a small coastal town. I like this. That means ships are coming in a lot. People are traveling from land. This is cool.
I think I'd like to pitch no ships are coming in ever
Oh,
because
no.
because the wyverns attacked the ships.
Yeah.
That's why we're
sailing's
set up. That's why the
dangerous.
town is here. We have to hunt like from above the cliffs, go dig down. Approaching ships get absolutely decimated by all
These are
wyverns.
not beaches then. These are like true
I think it's
cliffs.
we're cliffs of Dover kind of cliffs, like just
Okay.
big. And
beautiful.
any ship that approaches, the wyverns are like, "I'm going to eat that." They take it as a threat. They're like, "Look at that, sails on the horizon. Let's eat that."
Eat
Yeah.
it.
Along with their evolution of always having huge clutches of eggs,
Big clutches
they
of eggs.
also have learned to feed on whatever floats on top of the sea. Yeah.
Hmm.
The best type of bedding for their nests is ship sails, obviously.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shrapnel.
Also, they eat whales.
Oh,
That's their like. They go out, they
Wow.
fly out, they eat whales, and their ships. They're like sharks. They see a ship like, "That's a whale," and they eat it.
It's a whale.
Like a
Floating
shark sees a person
above
on a
the
surfboard,
ocean.
and they're like, "That's a yeah." Well, they were coming up to. Look at
Gotta
that whale's
breathe.
taking a long time to breach. Like, come on, man. Yeah, but,
Taking a
hey, if
big
he's not
breath.
getting back under, I'll eat him.
Wyvern's not the. I guess similar to chickens, not the smartest, not
Yeah.
the most
And they hunt in
intelligent.
packs, and they eat ships. Well, they attack ships thinking they're whales.
big old dummies.
We have this wyvern economy very well built out. I guess it does say technically we all provide one little detail about the city or surrounding area. We've all built this wyvern economy thing. I really like it. Bill, you suggested the no ships that we're on this big, cliff face. I like that. Will, what detail would you like to add to our environment or city?
I think there are endless lines of people who go out and fish in order to basically provide, food and other necessities for this economy. So they're trading, right, in fish. So there's the people who are working, gathering the wyvern eggs, and then there are the fishers. So that's kind of I think a good dichotomy.
Nice.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Do they-
It's probably quite a hike down to where they.
Well, that's
can
my question.
actually
Do they
fish.
have to go all the way to the beach, or do they have like really big
Long
fishing
lines.
rods and they fish off the side of the cliff? Cliff fishers.
If it's really Cliffs of Dover style, that would be incredible. Those would be some really impressive.
Can you
fishing
imagine
rods
reeling
and
that
lines.
in?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would take
Hey,
forever.
that-
You're like, did I feel a tug on the line, or was it just the wind?
Like, I think that was a tug, and okay, I'll start reeling, and then
By the
an
time
hour
you
later,
feel the
you're like,
tug-
wait, no, that wasn't a fish.
Yeah.
What if
What if?
instead, when they feel a tug, they like do the whole thing where they like tie the rope around the pommel of a saddle and they just take off at a gallop?
They just go.
Horse fishers,
Horse fishing.
fishers!
horseback fishers. Wow.
Yeah, and they have to bring them up fast as well, because
Yeah.
otherwise the wyverns will,
The wyverns.
will
Let
get
the
the
wyverns
fish
get 'em.
as they're coming out. Yeah.
Okay, this is this
Okay,
is a whole
I
different
love it.
game
We
we're
got
building.
wyverns.
Yes, I
We
agree.
got horse fishers.
Somehow we've slid from Stewpot into Arium, Will. And
Yeah.
Mm.
Just,
all right.
just tuck this one away. Use it for
Yeah,
future
exactly.
campaigns.
What's your detail?
My flash of brilliance was horse fishers. I don't know what
wait,
you're
you-
talking
you can-
about.
I loved horse fishers.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you wanted to count that or not. That's fine.
Okay, I'll do one more thing. So we're kind of between like the rocks, and then also on the other side, kind of curving around, is actually a forest that's alive, a la Ents.
Hey, Em, I don't want to be the one to tell you. All forests are alive.
Oh
Like
no!
all the trees are alive.
I
Like
meant
the,
more
the animals
alive.
and the trees and like they're
Like the
all
walking
alive.
around type.
Sentient. Sentient? Fully sentient? Or
No.
moving? Oh, okay.
Just moving. Like they
just
stand up
more
and walk
active.
around. So it's like really, really hard to like figure it out. We at least don't know how to talk to them. They don't speak the common tongue. But yeah, they stand up and walk around and rearrange however they well please.
I love it.
That's awesome. Okay, my turn. I think there is also we're just all on the economy here, but I think there's also it's not really something that the locals buy a lot of, but the sort of tourist trap, like incomer thing that has developed from all of this is scrimshaw. Like, because all of the driftwood from all the ships that get busted up in the bay, you know, those drift to shore. And so people, some enterprising few have made a habit of hiking down, getting the driftwood, carving it up into cute little trinkets and baubles and stuff. And it's sort of the, like, it has become known as, you know, oh, if you go to that town, you better get one of their trademark, you know, little driftwood carvings. And it's
But there are just rows and rows of like tables with canopy pitched above them.
Yeah. They're like
town.
really cheap. They're not, and like, so like I said, it's not something the locals actually are like, oh yeah, that's what our town is known for. It's just some good marketing has really built up this small tourist enterprise.
Apparently, like traditional scrimshaw, it was done on like whale bone and things like that. Rather than just driftwood. But surely there's a lot of whale bones.
There's a lot of whale bones, probably.
Like the whole, surely under the cliffs are just like littered with old whale bone and things like that. And that you could go down.
Yeah, driftwood, whalebone, who cares? Take it all. Carve it up.
Eggshell.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? And I think that these vendors claim that there's some kind of magical energy, you know, from the wyverns. There's all kinds of weird stories about these little trinkets.
You buy a whale piece of scrimshaw, you take it to the forest, it'll keep you safe and make the trees not move. It doesn't work at all, but
exactly. All right.
Every dead adventure in the forest, it's a bag of carved whale bones around their neck. Like, come on, man. Can't believe that stuff.
We've got to name our town, I guess. Yeah, we should probably give it a name. Just feel free to shout out ideas if you got them.
Oh, it's Baker's Beach.
Baker's Beach. Is it a beach though? It's not. We don't really have a beach.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's an ironic name.
Ironic name.
I like it.
Yeah, Baker came there and he was like, I'm going to get people to move here. I'm going to call it Baker's Beach.
Oh, I see. One of those
about
names.
The wyvern problems.
Yeah. I like that. Baker's Beach. Okay, so we live in Baker's Beach. Our tavern is in Baker's Beach. Now we got to talk about the tavern itself. What does it look like? Be as general or specific as you like. What interests you most about a building? What draws your eye? These are all questions from the book. So maybe let's go around and sort of each pick a little detail. You are free to pick from the list of examples in the book, or you can make up your own. But Em, let's start with you this time.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know if we want to do this, but an interesting idea is that this could be a big part of a ship that was actually dropped.
That was gonna be my pitch. I was about to say, I'll let Em finish and then I'll pitch like it's just like a vertical front half of a ship on one side that's, but yeah.
Like a big peak. Yeah, that was my idea.
I love that. That's super cool.
Could we have, in place of the mast, could we have a tree?
Oh my gosh. Our tavern's gonna look so magical. Yeah, okay. So a tree growing in the middle of this half-wrecked ship that we've salvaged.
I think it's also just got like a really, really well-cultivated flower garden ringing the entire thing.
Beautiful. Stunning.
That is beautiful.
Roses, peonies.
Is this Dugbor's doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Tulips? No, of course not. Why would I imagine such a thing?
Gauche. Gauche is what that is.
Daisies?
No.
Chamomile?
The weed. Monstera? Yes.
Okay, and then what do I want to add?
Have you seen, do you guys get birds of paradise flowers?
Yes, there's a ton here.
Yeah. We'll have a heap of those too.
California.
Yeah.
Well, California has all the plants.
That'll be so weird on this cliffside. I mean, I guess it's not that weird. I guess I'm just when I think of like a big cliff coast, I'm thinking of like cold. Like, so I cannot picture birds of paradise.
Oh, it's also incredibly warm.
Okay. So we're more in a tropical
this is a
kind
palm
of
tree
climate.
forest
Apparently.
that walks around.
Apparently.
I mean, it's canon in my mind that Dugbor Beach convinced one of the walking trees to move into this spot and stay there in the middle of our tavern. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Feed it. What do they eat? I don't know what we feed it. Dirt or like bits of meat. How
I mean,
mean
they're
are these
trees. It's just photosynthesis, right?
Yeah.
Fertilize its roots with the leftover fish.
Yeah,
sure.
Give it a good. It's therefore the strongest
Fish
of all
guts.
the trees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, my detail is part of Dugbor's deal with the tree, or sort of our collective deal with the tree. One of the ways we convinced it to come was we agreed that it could steer the ship. And so it's just like holding like the wheel.
Oh, it's so cute.
The tiller.
The tiller. But it just kind of looks like the tiller has the tree has grown like around to like grasp the tiller. But yeah, it was excited about that idea. So that's
Incredible.
my detail. We've got a tree in the middle of a half-wrecked ship and a beautiful flower garden around it. And this is sounding like a place I would really love to visit. We got to name it now. I feel like we should name it whatever the ship was named, right? I mean, it feels like whatever the ship would have a name, presumably, and it would probably have been, up on the side of the ship or something. So maybe it's just whatever that was.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it should be like there. Just
But
the
we
name
should
of the
cross
ship,
out.
whatever the name
It's
of
like
the ship
it's
was.
like an HMS ship, but we cross out the S and we put a big T for Tavern. This is
HMT.
Her Majesty's
scrolled
Tavern.
HMT.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Her Majesty's Tavern.
And then a ship name.
Ship names are normally puns, right?
I feel like they're
Ship
normally
names
just
are all
kinda
kinds
nice.
of things.
I think they're just aspirant words. Bounty.
Yeah.
Wonder.
Avarice.
It should be really impressive, I feel like.
Okay.
Like overly impressive, maybe. I don't know.
Grandeur.
Hmm.
Yeah. Something like that. The HMT grandeur.
I'm actually down with that.
Done.
HMT Grandeur. What a name.
Grandeur. Hey, we found it.
Okay, I gotta write this down.
We found a better ship first, but had a worse name. It was like the HMS.
The name
Feet.
makes
We're
the
like,
establishment.
Little feet.
This is
I'm
a-
not putting the
yeah.
little feet up on the top of the cliff. We'll take the grandeur.
Yeah, that one. Okay, let's play. I mean, we have been playing. What am I saying? But now let's play some of these games. Well, I guess to clarify, we do have tavern ratings, which is a thing that you can advance over the course of the game. You can make your tavern spiffier and cooler. So we have a rating in cuisine, atmosphere, and service. Everything starts at 1. So cuisine as a 1. There's a cramped kitchen, plenty of staples, but nothing fancy. Just enough for Chef Sherbs to make some very basic chowder.
Yeah, I think right now that means that I'm probably the main supplier of the tavern. And so it's just like, potatoes. Sorry. All I got.
And
We
maybe
can get some
fish
seafood.
here
We
and
can
there.
get some nice, like a few fish and potatoes.
Yep. Makes sense to me.
It doesn't matter what this
Lettuce.
Rating is. Chef Sherbs is convinced that this is the best food anyone will ever eat.
I like that.
Yeah.
Confidence is what will help Chef Sherbs improve.
Yeah. All right. Atmosphere is a 1. Comfortable enough, but a little boring. Things feel slightly off. So maybe we're still figuring out the exact arrangement of the tables. Things change from day to day because we're like, do we like that? No, let's move that back over here. And
They probably don't fully match the theme either. It's like we're inside a big hulking wooden ship. Welcome inside and sit on this, like, I don't know, it's just a chair. It's just a normal chair and a table, sort of in the middle, not quite placed right. And no, it doesn't. Like from the outside, it's like a ship, and from the inside, it's like a tavern. It's not.
We're finding it. We're finding
a consistent atmosphere.
The vibes are all wrong.
Vibes are all wrong.
And then service. How well our tavern operates. So we are 1 currently, which means we only have 1 employee, basically. And every time we go up in this rating, we can hire a new NPC to help our tavern. So we are starting off with 1 single employee. The suggestions in the book are a former farmhand or perhaps an injured local guard. Do you guys have any ideas that are... what's the gasp, Em? What's your idea?
What if the person is missing a limb from a wyvern? They used to be a wyvern egg hunter, and now they no longer have the ability to nest dive.
Nest dive? Is that?
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
what you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you reach in, they bite very hard, and this one bit very hard, and now my hand is gone. But it's fine. I'm doing okay. I can balance plates on my forearm, and I can use my other hand to hold the cups. I'm doing okay.
All right, Bill is the
I
NPC.
appreciate the work. I appreciate the work, but I will try my best to do whatever I can.
And what was your name again? For my records.
My mother called me Reginald, but I never liked that growing up. So all of the other wyvern hunters, they called me Boots because of my big boots.
Okay.
Also, yeah, good. Yeah, they called me Boots. Now, I will say I've lost the boots. I lost them in a bet. I lost a game of cards.
What?
So it is. In fact, this happened many years ago, but they kept calling me Boots because, well, once a name is there, it sticks. It sort of retroactively became ironic.
Well, it'd be weird to call you Sandals.
No, would that just be rude? Because it's not really my name. I don't really need you like an updated description of my footwear. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm not like, oh, you're Mr. Barefeet. Just call me Boots. It's fine. That's what I go by. For the last, 8 years, they've called me Boots. So I will happily keep the name.
And what are Boots' pronouns?
I don't understand the question. I'm a wyvern guy. I get eggs from the walls. I'm a wyvern man, if that's what you're asking. My wife was a wyvern lady. She died.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I just have to ask: was your wife a wyvern?
No. She also took eggs from wyvern's nests.
Oh, perfect.
She died. It was a tragic accident.
I was just curious. I'm very sorry to bring up such terrible memories.
No, it's okay. We weren't the greatest couple.
And that's
marriage
Boots,
of
everyone.
convenience, really.
Hello,
Boots,
get out of
everyone.
the situation.
We shuffle Boots off to the broom closet to go start cleaning the tavern.
Don't tell the guests that
tables,
story.
etc. We must work on
I'm part of the reason the vibe is slightly off.
That's true. All right. That's our tavern. Yes, we've done all the steps.
Hey, can I remake a character? I'd like to be Boots.
I mean, we'll see Boots again.
It's fine.
Boots will show up in these games very likely if we want him to.
If anyone else would like to voice him at any point, feel free to jump in.
Well, maybe
No,
we'll
that's my
definitely
favorite
hire
voice.
and meet other NPCs, so I'm sure there'll be plenty to go around.
They call me Shoes, and I'm here to help.
All of them are just named after footwear. He can't be named Sandals because there already is a Sandals in town.
I understand. My bad.
I hate sandals.
Okay, we start with the first game, which is called The First Step, appropriately. So, the first step. Before you decided to put down roots, before you found this group of friends, what were you doing? What was the first thing you learned about living in town? Everyone plays this game. All of us gain 1 town experience, and we take turns describing a short scene that led to that experience. We can pull each other into scenes if we want to. but they won't also gain that experience. So and you can pull in NPCs too, and if you want to have an experience with boots, that is on the table. So there are some example scenes if you need some ideas, but I would suggest first maybe looking at the town experiences under your job and seeing maybe which one you want to pick.
Oh, okay. I think it makes sense for me to go with brewer.
Brewer. Ooh, that makes sense to me. I'm gonna pick Eyes on the Horizon. Spot trouble before it starts.
Ooh, okay.
I feel like I have an idea for my scene, if that's cool with you guys. All right.
Hit it.
So I think Pharaoh is a fairly, what's the word? She likes to keep to herself. She's not a very sociable person. She doesn't hate people, but she's just not very talkative. However, much to her chagrin, the local kids have all kind of taken a liking to her. They enjoy, she acted gruffly toward them at first to kind of brush them off, but instead they thought that was funny and have just continued sort of pestering her for stories and things like that. They also are really fascinated by her raven that is with her all the time, her animal companion, because it definitely doesn't act like other birds. And so they're just very fascinated with her, and she has learned to tolerate it, and maybe in some small, quiet moments has a secret enjoyment of these kids thinking she's so cool.
Aww.
And I don't know that this necessarily needs to be like a scene. I'm kind of just summarizing it, but I think she one day was out on the cliffs and just sort of walking through town and saw a little gaggle of kids, some of the ones that she is familiar with. And she noticed that they were playing a game. They were playing kind of roughly, and they were getting closer and closer to the cliff's edge. And she, with the eyes on the horizon, see danger before it happens. She rushed over and caught one of the kids just as they were sort of tumbling over. And they weren't going to fall all the way into the ocean, but they probably would have fallen into like a wyvern nest or something. And so she snatches them up before that happens. The end. That's one of the first things she did in town.
I like it a lot. That's really adorable. I think I have an idea for mine.
Go.
I had visualized the way these scenes played out slightly different. Do you mind if I play around with a different format, Tori?
Yeah, that's fine. I think we can absolutely play the scenes. I just was like, I kind of have an idea of what happened, and here's what happened, and that's all that really needs to be said.
Okay. I'm going to do with a befriend local stray cats one, and I would like to start a scene with Will, if possible. Yeah, Vesker was actually helping carry some ingredients over to your place. So Vesker's arms are loaded with boxes and kicks your door.
Oh, over to Chef Sherb's place.
Chef Sherb's place.
Huh. Well, that means I have to debut Chef Sherb's voice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I took it and gave it to Boots.
You did, yeah. Unfortunately, I would have done that really well, I hope you know. But it's all been done, so I can't, I don't want to put you to shame, so I won't even try. Now, who is it? What do you want?
I swear to the gods, Sherbs, if you don't open this door, I'm throwing these taters on the ground and stomping on them.
Taters, it doesn't really matter anyway. That isn't fish.
You need things to go with the fish. How else are you gonna make fish fritters?
Fine. Open the door.
And it's just like a kind of outpouring of boxes as Vesker just dumps towards you.
Are you planning to pick any of that up?
If you ask nicely.
Please.
Oh, I suppose I have to then.
Vesker will crouch down, start picking up taters.
Yeah, I'll help pick up the taters and things.
Hey, I have a question for you.
What's that?
Have you seen that dirty old alley cat, the orange one, wandering around?
Though, I think I call that one Tabitha.
It's a boy. Have you? It doesn't matter. Tabitha. No, Tabitha.
His name is delightful, don't you think?
You're right. My bad. Anyways, Tabitha I saw last night was running by, had a crooked tail. Kind of worried about it. You haven't seen him today?
I don't know what I have. I haven't put out any fish guts this morning.
You have any fish guts?
Of course.
Can I have some? Got it?
Of course. Yes, thank you for the taters and things. Here are some fish guts.
I just reach in with both hands and grab them.
Yeah. Delicious.
Give a little squishy squish.
Thank you.
Tori, your face is so sad right now.
And also, do you have anything for the cats?
Yeah.
Vesker walks out. What does Chef Sherb's house look like?
It probably looks like a tent.
Okay, perfect. There's just dripping guts throughout your tent.
Mm-hmm.
And then spends the better
a tent with
part...
a very heavy door that had to be opened for someone, obviously.
Yeah. You said it looks like a tent. It's not a tent. It's a perfectly constructed wooden building. Looks exactly like a tent.
Like a tent. It's wild. For the better part of the next 30 minutes, you hear Vesker squeaking and squealing and screaming Tabitha throughout all of the alleys by your house. Finally, he finds Tabitha. She captures him in a basket when he's eating the guts. The now hot, really sticky guts. Takes this cat home, bandages it up, and next thing she knows, all of the cats in the town show up at her door every morning. So she tends to their little wounds, any scratches, any missing patches of fur with her potions and salves that she concocts with her brewer experience. Is that how those go? Is that how those are supposed to go? Okay,
Why
cool.
not? We've had two samplings now.
It's a way. There are two ways.
Way. Show us another way, Sherb.
Show the way.
Oh, so yeah, I think Sherb, like I mentioned, came to this town after, a life at sea, ate, a lot of fish, still really loves fish. Fish is Sherb's favorite food, far and away. They like it fried, grilled, sautéed, boiled.
Two more ways.
Blended.
Minced. Oh, blended.
Yeah.
Pate.
Fish shakes. Yum.
Oh.
I don't like our tavern anymore.
I don't either. We've made a mistake.
Do you have any beer that doesn't have fish in it? No.
Why would you
Try
do
the
that?
next place.
Next place over.
Yeah.
There's just a fish skeleton hanging out of every mug. Like a full intact somehow, like on a cartoon.
Oh no. Yeah, so when Sherbs was first new to town, there's a wide variety of people coming to this place. It's they're coming from everywhere to be wyvern divers, right? All walks of life, right? I want to introduce an NPC, and I'd love for somebody to play this person. This is someone who was a seneschal for like a very powerful ruler or a lord or something like that, but left a life of service to seek their fortune here. I don't know if I have a name yet, so I could use a name if someone thinks of one.
Rory.
Lori?
I was saying Rory, but whatever you want.
Rory's really good. I like Rory. So Rory came here, and they were, sitting at one of the encampments where all of the wyvern divers sit around fires and putting together their food and things, and that is what Sherbs was doing as well, just joining that campfire and cooking up, their little fish dishes and eating them. And Rory, I think, is just so displeased at the fact that Sherbs doesn't know anything about any kind of food really except for fish, and is gonna show them the world, basically.
Okay. Sherbs, Chef Sherbs?
Yes, that is my name. I'm Chef Sherbs.
Do you only cook with fish?
It is the best and only ingredient that one needs to grow up healthy and strong like me.
Okay, yeah. As an experiment, would you be open to trying other things?
Other things?
Yeah.
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, we're obviously an audible gulp.
Maybe a salad? Or... it's or a fruit of some kind?
A fruit?
Like a pie. Like a fruit pie. Please don't yell at me.
What manner of witchery are you purveying, Rory?
Look, maybe I could just make one. You could try it.
Will it have fish in it?
I can put scales, and pastry at the top, so it looks like a fish, but it won't actually have fish in the inside. But maybe that would be a nice little transition. Please don't look at me like that.
But if you're going to make it look like fish, why wouldn't it? Will it taste like fish?
I think that, as a cook, it's important to not get caught up on our egos and our preferences, and instead cook for the people who will be eating it.
You don't like my fish?
Oh, Chef Sherbs, I would never presume, but I heard other people say that nobody likes it.
Oh.
I will try this pie.
Oh, cool. Oh, what a relief. I have it here, and just pulls it out of nowhere.
I already made it.
Here's what I prepared earlier.
There's only one slice left. Everyone said it's really good. So, surely you'll enjoy it as well.
Sherbs will just put a finger down on the tip of the slice and
Snazzleberry.
Scoop up. What kind of pie is it? What's the fruit?
Snazzleberry.
Snazzleberry.
Of course, obviously.
Yeah. Smell the snazzleberry.
It's brilliant pink.
Oh.
And it's shining like a gem. Covered in more pink sauce.
Does kind of look like salmon. I'll take that. Takes the pie tin from you.
Thank you, Chef. Appreciate it, Chef.
His taste buds are forever changed.
What is in this?
Snazzleberries, snazzleberry jam, some sugar, some honey, some some weaver milk for a nice little mouthfeel. Yeah, I whipped it into a froth before folding it in, and then on top is like a crust, a flaky golden melts in your mouth crust. I got it from my great-great-grandpa.
Well, Rory, I think you've done okay.
I'll do better next time, I swear, Chef. Bursts into tears, runs out.
We need to hire Rory.
Yeah. Sure.
Who wants a crybaby?
Looks after Rory. Eats the rest of the pie.
Perfect.
Like pretty much in, like 2 bites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I sense a menu upgrade in our future.
Yeah.
All right, Doug Bohr. You're up.
For 37 years, Doug Bohr lived in the forests outside of, well, not the forest directly outside this town, but the forest itself is connected to a fairly vast network of dense groves and forests that stretch on east of the cliffs. And it was quite deep into this that Doug Bohr lived. Didn't want to be part of sort of normal town living. Didn't like seeing people, didn't like hanging out with anybody. Not out of anger, again, not out of vitriol against people, just life with so many people around became overwhelming, and Doug retreated into the depths of the forest and lived as a druid. Large hammer made out of bone that he collected out of Wales somewhere. No, he didn't, because he's never been to the ocean. Take it back. Large hammer made out of bone that he crafted from various forest animals. He's got a big bear skull that's slowly been shaped down into a lump at the end of his hammer. Druids, as some people might not realize, they eat everything. They eat all the animals. There's no like they have an understanding that living in harmony with nature means eating nature. That's the harmony that the planet has provided. They're not better than the planet. They're not better than the lion that eats the gazelle. They understand their place in the food chain and they act accordingly. Doug's been living in the forest harmoniously, living in the old, the innards of a dead tree that turned into basically Doug's house. And after a while, Doug ended up, lots of people would come into the forests and ask for poultices and help and spells and wards and various other things, some of which Doug could not do whatsoever because they didn't know what a druid does, but he helped as best he could. And eventually he fell in with an adventuring crew. They traveled around, they went on adventures, and he started to feel like he was part of a community. And when that crew, as all adventuring crews do, disbanded, they couldn't find time, they had kids, they were working a lot, they couldn't keep a regular schedule, and so eventually the whole adventuring party just sort of fell apart. And he found when he went back to his tree, he missed it. He missed people for the first time in almost 40 years. And so he went to try and find some. And he traveled for a while. And eventually, he ended up meeting an old grizzled sea person, a swashbuckler named Sherbs, who, when he found out that Doug had never seen the ocean, said, you have to come with me. And they traveled together, and they arrived in Baker's Beach. And Doug spent a good 3 days staring at the ocean. Didn't do anything else. Sat on a cliff and just like, look at this stuff. This is amazing. But eventually he needed to find somewhere to go. And he spent time in town, but it was still a bit too much. Until he found... I'm going to call him... Bordan. He met Bordan. And Bordan was an old man. 82 years old, which for a human, it's pretty old. And Bordan ran a farm outside of the village. And Doug found that when he was at the farm, it was just him and Bordan. It was easy. There weren't so many people around. It was removed from the rest of society. And he felt very comfortable there. And he spent time with Bordan. And Bordan, the farm was okay, but it's not the best area for farming. The land's not the greatest, but Dugbor knows how to bend the earth to his will. Dugbor knows how to grow plants and understands how they grow and how they interact with the soil. And as he learned how to properly farm, Bordan learned how to properly grow. And Dugbor helped him. They worked together. And eventually, of course, being an 82-year-old man, Bordan died. He had dementia and he wandered and he fell off a cliff. I don't know, it was pretty sad. And Dugbor inherited the farm. He kept it growing. He kept it. He kept the soil moving. He kept everything. He hired a farmhand. Farmhand left. He just went on for better things. And now Dugbor manages the farm himself. And he's found a great balance in being able to turn up to town, deliver his goods, and then retreat back to the farm. And this farm is fantastic. It is producing crops more than it ever has before. And because of that, Dugbor has the bounty experience that his farm produces, well, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. It's a good farm. And that is my town experience. Bounty as a farmer. I'm producing vast crops.
Incredible.
I love this. I also want to add that Bordan wandered and fell off a cliff before Pharaoh was on lookout duty. So that did not happen on Pharaoh's watch.
But only 5 minutes before.
Oh, man.
Just before you got there.
When Bordan walked off the cliff, was he, snatched up by a wyvern?
No one knows.
No. Okay.
He's actually being kept as a wyvern pet.
I've often wondered what happened to Bordan, but I've never found out. I searched the beach for his bones, but I couldn't find them. I searched the wyverns for his bones, and they didn't seem to have them either, so I gave up eventually. Maybe Bordan still lives somewhere. Maybe he sailed away to seek his fortune on the ocean. I like to think that, but I know it's a lie.
Okay. We've completed the first step, which means we get to take turns choosing other mini games to play. Why don't we roll a dice? Because that's who doesn't like to roll dice. All right. If anyone has dice handy, just roll a d6 and we'll see. Whoever gets the highest gets to pick first. And if you don't have a dice handy, that's fine and I'll roll for you.
2.
That works too, Will. That counts. I got a 4 too. All right, it's a roll off unless Will gets higher.
No, you can go first.
Wait, but I can't. I see shapes, but I can't see numbers.
It's a 6.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Well, this is good
Does
because
it not show
you've
up
also
at all? That's awful.
played the most of the game,
That's true.
so you should pick first.
Okay, wait. Bill and I, let's roll again and see who get. Oh, I got a 2, so you're probably gonna beat me.
I got a 4.
All right,
oh, by the way, I
so-
have a die that only rolls 4s.
So it'll go Will, Bill, me, and M. For picking the mini
M
games.
is the opposite of me, so we have
That's
name
true.
similarities.
And Bill is the opposite of Will.
Yes.
in a way, I guess. Will,
I mean,
what game would you like to play first? Also, we built into the game, you're supposed to take a break every 3 games and play Wear and Tear, which is sort of like the it's what it sounds like. It's Wear and Tear on the Tavern. But you can choose to play that game earlier. So if you want to select that game as your mini game, you can, and it resets that 3-game timer, basically. That's how the game moves.
I think I'm kind of interested in, and this would be a very dramatic moment if it were later in the game, perhaps. But I think if we do it early, it's going to be a little bit more madcap, perhaps. And so if you're not down for this, let me know. But I'm looking over the list, and I think a distinguished guest could be really interesting at this very early stage. What will they think of our crap hole little tavern, right?
right,
Yeah,
let me
do it.
read the description for everyone listening. So, a distinguished guest, someone important is in town and they're almost here. The tavern has to be at its best for this guest. After all, they might leave a generous tip. Anyone can play this game. As a group, we need to figure out a few details about the important guest, such as where they come from. Why are they important? How important are they? Have any of us heard of this person before? Etc. One player plays the guest. The others participating in the game take on challenges. And each challenge tests one of our tavern ratings, which are all currently at 1.
Oh no!
So, we'll see how this goes. It could be, maybe Boots will make an amazing impression on this person. We don't know. We'll see.
It's possible.
Well, Will, you've picked this game, so
I think you should pick who
maybe
the
let's
guest is.
yeah, let's figure out who the guest is, and you can pick who you want to have play the guest. How about that?
Okay. I think that sounds good.
Do you have any starting ideas for this very important distinguished guest?
I mean, perhaps. Actually, I have a thought. So let's say we've got Rory, our retired seneschal / wyvern hunter, who actually was an absolutely fantastic seneschal, and is a little out of his element here, but was incredible, impeccable, perfection as a seneschal. And it turns out the palace just really can't do without Rory. And so someone has been sent, someone powerful, to retrieve Rory and bring him back to do the duty that he was so clearly born and bred to do. I don't know what their name is, but I'm thinking like Lady
Grand Duchess Tiana Muslani. Wait, no, not that. Grand Duchess Tiana. That's it. I don't need a surname.
Grand Duchess Tiana.
Tiana.
Tiana with a
Tiana. T. Yes.
Okay.
The whole thing.
Who's playing Grand Duchess Tiana?
Who would like to?
I mean, I always like playing dumb characters.
Is this a dumb Grand Duchess, or is this
No.
a
All characters are dumb. That's a rule of role playing. All characters are inherently a little bit dumb.
Please do, Bill. I would love to see your interpretation of Grand Duchess Tiana.
Okay, and the rest of us? I suppose I should ask, is anyone not going to participate in this game? All right. We're all in then. I guess then the three of us can run around and hopefully solve these problems that come up.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that that Grand Duchess Tiana's from far away. That this was quite a journey to retrieve Rory.
Okay, so is Rory there yet, or is the Grand Duchess waiting for Rory to show up?
I think Grand Duchess turns up at the tavern.
And looking for Rory, but
yeah,
like we're like, this is our chance.
Okay,
right?
Cool. I'm here for it.
Yeah. And so
Hello?
we're like,
hello?
Who the fuck is that?
Is anybody here to take my coat?
I do not know. She looks rich. Should I?
Oh, wait, shut up. Rich? Hi.
Hello, just bust right over.
Hello.
Hi. Who do
This
I
isn't
have
this establishment is open, isn't it? I can't quite tell by looking around.
Well, we save the room for the best guest. Hello, that's obviously you.
Yes, it's obviously me. Please take my coat.
Of course.
It just drowns little Vesker with the coat.
Yes. But don't leave yet. You must take my gloves as well.
Just stack them on.
Hold on, they're coming off. They're coming off very slowly.
Pharaoh
Are they
will,
there yet?
Pharaoh will come over.
Are they
and
there yet?
Take the
No, here
coat
comes the
off
second
of
one.
Are they there
Vesser.
yet?
They are there.
Okay,
You may take my
goodbye.
Just float
I'll
away.
show myself to my seat, I suppose.
This feels like a good time for the atmosphere challenge. It's Vesker. You kind of gave the first impression. So do you want to? You flip a coin. So you flip a coin to see how this went. We get as many attempts as we have a rating in this, which all of our ratings are 1. So you get 1 50-50 shot.
What do I want, heads or tails?
You want heads.
Okay, here we go. Flip. Heads.
Heads.
Boom,
All
baby.
right. So our tavern passes. Madam,
You're
sorry, not
welcome.
Madam, Grand Duchess Tiana, you
That's
need
my
to
name.
describe a special memory you will always have of your stay.
Tiana sits down at the table and she realizes she recognizes this ship. Her grandfather built the HMS Grandeur. She really, as you approach to take her order, she says, "I remember these walls. When I was a girl, I traveled the seas upon this vessel. How did you find it? We thought the whole thing lost at sea."
It was many days hauling it out of the ocean.
But you hauled it out. You did well. I remember I first saw a pirate aboard this vessel when I was only 13 years old. He died. It was a good day.
That seems like a good point for. I mean, it's probably not a good point, but it's a point for Chef Sherbs to appear from the back.
With the chowder?
Eye patch intact.
The pirate.
Yeah.
He looked just like you.
Will he be dining with us?
Oh. Yes, actually, I think I will. I think spending some more time aboard this vessel would bring a bit of joy to an old woman's heart.
Excellent.
You know.
May I recommend the chef's special, the fish?
I'm sorry, fish. Just fish? I would perhaps like more specifications in your menu. I'm not some urchin child who orders fish from a counter.
Certainly, Your
Grace.
Grace.
Grace is right. Not my name. My name is Tiana, not Grace. Not like Grand Duchess Grace. My sister.
In the back.
She has 2 names?
Please tell your rat
Certainly,
boy
Your
to mind their
Grace.
business.
Allow me to entice you with the red snapper.
Ah, now that is more like it. Yes, red snapper I will have here, and then I require information. I'm looking for a man, but I will bore you with these details once I have assessed whether or not you are worthy of talking to by the value of your food. A snapper, please.
Cuisine challenge!
And make it snappy.
Recommend the
Oh.
Béarnaise sauce. Just like
You may
the head
recommend
and butt.
nothing, rat boy.
All right, well, Chef Sherbs needs to pass this cuisine challenge. You get 1 flip of the coin. You want heads?
I'm going with odds as heads and
Oh,
tails.
all
as
right.
even.
Okay,
Is that
that's
okay?
fine. Sure.
Okay, I got a 1, so yeah, you can't see it. I don't know why I'm
Odds
showing
is
it to you.
heads. Okay, so we passed. We're two for 3 so far. So now
Incredible.
the guest describes what they most enjoy about the meal.
Well, actually, what is?
Yeah,
Should
Chef
you
Sherbs, do
describe
you
what
want to
the
give
meal
us a
is?
presentation?
What is that? What do you put down in front of the Duchess?
Yeah. So Sherbs has recently learned about ingredients, and so has been experimenting with them a little bit. So this will be like a full head-on fish, right? And with a sauce, and then probably some light sprinkling of maybe peas or something like that, right? Nothing truly dazzling, but it's not just fish. So
Not just fish.
right.
I think the snapper goes down on the plate, and Tiana looks at it, waits until someone hands her a fork. Just like this. Thank you. Lifts it up, has a look. It's a bit unsure. Takes the first bite. And just... Oh. Freshly caught snapper. Oh, cooked perfection. Please, bring that dirty pirate back here.
Dirty pirate!
Pharaoh shoves Sherbs out the swinging doors.
Yes, Your Grace.
I must say, sir, while you have a very gruff appearance, you have quite the delicate touch when it comes to firing this fish. Just perfectly done. Truly, I haven't had a fish quite... I come myself from rather far inland. After my grandfather's efforts on the ocean ended, my family was rewarded quite handsomely. We moved to a large castle that is not quite on the coast, and it has been a while since I have had fish this fresh caught. I assume you catch this straight from the cliffs.
Yes.
What were the strange horses I saw running away from the cliffs in droves?
The horse fisherman brought these in just this morning.
Well, I have to say, when I approached this establishment, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but this food is delicious.
I
shall award you a star.
A star!
Well,
Yes.
Thank you.
My uncle is an astronomer, and he says I can name any star anything I want. So I shall name one Snapper Chef, and you will know it is for you.
Oh, I thought she was giving us a star.
Oh, I am.
Oh,
In the heavens. You may own it. You may look up and you may say, wonderful.
what a fucking honor.
It is. I know not this strange word which you say. I've never heard such language.
Oh,
Hucking, you say. Interesting.
it describes anything. You can just
I
attach
shall use it
to
promptly.
You can use it as a verb.
I will use it presently. I'm looking for my fucking seneschal. Does anybody know of a small waifish man named Rory?
This is
Has anybody met such a man?
So there's a service challenge left, and I think Pharaoh tackled this. I described how I organized the NPCs so that everything goes smoothly. So I think that mostly consisted of Pharaoh keeping Boots like corralled in the back away from Grand Duchess Tiana.
Does she want to see my stump?
No, nobody wants to see the stump. How many times have I told you to
I
keep
find
that
it
covered?
interesting.
Nobody else does. It is
I
this.
can still wiggle it a little bit at the end.
We
I
serve
don't
food
recommend
here.
it.
This is a food eating establishment. We cannot have stumps out in the open like that.
All right.
Stay here, Boots.
Stumps away, Boots.
I have a suspicion for what she is here. Pharaoh, with her sharp eyes, noticed the crest on the Grand Duchess's carriage as she came into town and pulled up to the tavern. So Pharaoh left Corvus, her big, kind of scary raven, watching Boots to make sure he did not leave the kitchen area, and went to go fetch Rory. So just as Grand Duchess Tiana is finished asking where her seneschal is, Pharaoh slams the door open and kind of has Rory, like, not like dragging Rory dramatically, but sort of has him by the arm. She is a bit stronger than Rory. I think this is who you're looking for. You both have the same goofy crest on your clothes. I thought I recognized it. Do you know this person?
Grand Duchess, it is a pleasure to see you once again. Drops to one knee in a deep bow.
Oh, wonderful. Look, Rory, it is good to see you. How has your little adventuring been going?
It has
Have
been
you- have
most enlightening, my lady.
Wonderful. Do you feel... Are you done? Because we do need you back.
I was under the impression I could take as long as I wished.
Look, when you left, we thought we'd replace you with one of the other people we had on the estate. What does a seneschal even do, I thought to myself. Manage the estate? Oh, I've never seen any problems on the estate. It must manage itself. But I tell you, Rory, with this new seneschal, things are going to the dogs. My horses are never ready. People come to me and ask me questions. And I say, I have a seneschal for this. And they say, we don't know where he is. Because he's off lazing about, talking to a servant about some problem, trying to go to the dungeons and question prisoners and all these various seneschal tasks. And he's never around when I need him. I had to talk to 13 peasants in the last 4 months.
You
13
didn't.
peasants, Rory.
Oh, that
They
is
have problems.
unacceptable.
And I don't understand. I say,
What?
if your house is burnt down, merely buy another.
Of course.
They tell me for some reason they cannot do this. And I just don't have time for things like this, and I need my Rory back. Everything was perfect when you were here, Rory. I spent my days luxuriating, talking to my uncle about astrology. Please, Rory, if you come back, I will name 4 stars in your honor.
If I may, I think maybe we could do the challenge, and then depending on how it turns out, is we either encourage Rory to go or encourage Rory to not go.
Okay.
Okay, I'll flip. All right, heads, tails. Okay. It's a heads! We're 3 for 3! Okay, we pass.
What does that
so
mean?
it's the guest describes an interesting conversation they had with someone at the tavern. I think this is that interesting
This is the interesting
conversation.
conversation.
But I think Rory looks a bit hesitant, and Pharaoh, like, kind of nudges Rory and gives him, like, a reassuring nod and says,
Rory,
"You were shit at gathering wyvern eggs anyway. Perhaps this is your true calling."
I've never seen the lad so confident.
Grand Duchess,
Yes?
it is of great fortune that we meet once again in the hollowed out hull of your grandfather's ship.
Truly.
I see it as a portent, I see it as a sign. Yes, I shall return with you.
Oh, wonderful! Rory, you've made an old woman very happy. We shall return as soon as we can. I have a carriage waiting for you.
Rory claps his hands, and your coat and gloves appear in his arms, like his sumdom magic.
I haven't. My last seneschal, my now ex-seneschal, used to carry things around, Rory. He would pick them up and move them place to place with his hands.
With his fingers?
With his fingers, Rory.
I'm nauseous. I'm sick. I'm ill, in fact. Oh,
It is wonderful to have you back.
We must be rid of him at once. Please, might I offer you my arm?
I will take your arm. We shall return to the estate in my beautiful carriage. And we shall kill all the peasants.
With magic,
Once-
of course. No dirty
With
fingers.
magic.
Please, I hope you have enjoyed your stay at the HMP Grandeur. And Pharaoh gives a very awkward, stiff bow. She's trying her best.
I have had a wonderful. In fact, I shall put my official seal of approval above your door. Hiya!
And thank you for the star.
Oh yes. When you look to the skies, think Lady Tiana gave me a star.
You are very honored. Bow.
You are very honored. You should bow.
Yeah.
Pharaoh bows again.
Do not lift your head until the Grand Duchess leaves.
The Grand Duchess stays for 15 minutes.
Yes. Anytime someone starts with the head down,
Now I have to start counting again.
yes. I'm sorry. They're not well educated.
Rubes they are.
Rory.
with us bowed in subservience to Grand Duchess Tiana, we fade to black on this successful scene Hopefully,
Hey, you did great.
Yeah, the reputation, the word will start spreading far and wide. Is that someone's opinion we want? I suppose it's too late for that now.
The die has been cast.
Yes, it truly has. Okay, now I'm going to say that I used Corvus. I guess we could have gotten another attempt. That's actually why, because I wanted to go for 3 for 3. And if you used an experience, you could get another attempt in the scene. But we got a first try, so I will cross my animal companion off of my experiences. I'm not getting rid of Corvus. I just realized that perhaps Corvus can serve a purpose beyond whatever he used to do as my, like, fighting companion in combat. Now he can be used to babysit Boots and other things.
Oh, it says if you pass 2 or more challenges, you succeed in impressing the guest. And the guest describes a lavish gift and presents it to the tavern before they leave.
Oh.
This gift helps you instantly upgrade one of your tavern ratings.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. I'll describe. What do you want? You pick it. Why don't we pick a tavern rating we want to improve, and I can describe the gift.
Good call.
I feel like it can't be service because we lost the one NPC who I felt like was really going to upgrade our service.
It could be a book of recipes from Rory.
Oh,
yeah. On the way out. Yeah, that's true.
The other thought, if we want to improve the atmosphere, she might be able to ship you things that were that fit the actual ship. That are like, these are the original captain's seats and his table that he had in his. I can ship it to you. So you can make it more holistic and appropriate.
That's cool too.
That's for the vibe, the atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's first rate. We should do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So so this is sort of like occasional shipments come from Grand Duchess Tiana.
I think what it is like 4 weeks later, someone knocks at your door. Says, "Hello, I have a shipment here from Grand Duchess Tiana. It's quite big. Could somebody help me get it off the cart?"
Yes, I will help you with this thing.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, up. Grab it down. And you find it is a massive dining table carved of like walnut and oak inlaid and a set of beautiful dining chairs and a note that says, "This was my grandfather's. He took it off the ship when he retired, but as it was going down. 14 sailors died to get this table off the ship and into a lifeboat. But you may have it. I have no need for it now. I have more tables than a woman could ever eat at. So you may have this one. I feel it will be appropriate for it to sit in my grandfather's ship. Get rid of your bad tables. They were the worst part of my stay. Sincerely yours, Lady Diana. P.S. Did you see the star last night?" And that's it.
There's a note slipped in from Rory that's actually a bill from the tear of a sleeve on the Grand Duchess's dress. Unacceptable.
Rude. Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. But now there's a nice big table. Does that mean we pull up our atmosphere to 2?
Yeah, I think it goes to 2, which is, it's described as a little plain but homey, not a bad place to get a good night's sleep. So, it's improved. Yeah, it doesn't say things feel slightly off anymore, so.
Exactly, because we're starting to get a holistic view.
Yeah, that's something.
Starting it, we're figuring it out.
I wonder if the star counts as a keepsake.
Yeah, maybe it does. You can take it.
That sounds a great idea. Take it, Chef Sherbs.
All right, Bill, go ahead and pick our next game.
Well, you know what? I'm the farmer who's probably growing ingredients for us. So why don't we play Homegrown?
Lovely.
There is something special about using locally grown ingredients. You might have laughed at that before, but you can really notice a difference when you're cooking the same dishes over and over again. You've got some room for plants and animals with plenty of magic and food scraps to spare. Why not try it out? That is my little intro. The setup. Anyone can play. I'm assuming we all want to play.
Let's do it.
And as a group, we decide where to place our farm. Now, this is obviously not my farm. I feed a lot of people. This is a tavern-specific farm. Could be inside the tavern, could be somewhere relatively close. And we need to describe what we're growing or keeping, what we're farming here. And what we should, what are we going to do? How are we going to start this little farm? If you want to, if we want, we can presumably discuss where the farm goes as players, or we could do it in character, because we would have to, at some point as characters, to figure out where the farm goes.
Can we farm fish?
I've told you before, we can't farm fish. That's a separate industry. It's called fishing. You fish fish, you farm goods.
I do not want to hike up and down the cliff every day.
Hold on, actually. I take that back. Maybe we could build a pond out the back, fill it with fish, have them breed in the pond, feed them scraps. We can freshly catch them right out of our own backyard.
You see?
Maybe there is some viability in this.
We have to catch them alive.
We'd have to catch them alive, and we'd have to dig we'd have to dig out some space here behind the tavern that we could shore up with rocks and
Can't you do the thing you do with the earth when you move it?
I haven't used magical earth removal since I first arrived here in town, but I used to do it quite a lot, to set up traps for creatures to fall into and feast upon their flesh. Maybe I could. Yes, maybe I could. Hold on. All right, everybody, hold on. I'll get these old bones moving again, and I'll try and get the dirt going. Get some backup shovels just in case.
But it is true that I have a adventure experience of force of nature. I can shape the earth itself to my will. I could use my magical nature powers to sort of just carve out a pond effectively. But I don't know the mechanics of this game yet, so maybe I should see what those are. So we have the growing part. Shall I read through the growing part?
Sure.
Are we all happy with what the farm is and where it is? Are we
fish farm? Yeah.
Currently, it's like a fish farm out the back, basically. The pond. Makes sense to me. We are using a lot of fish. Yeah, it's become a very fish-focused economy.
I'm so sorry.
All right, well. Farming is messy, gross, and a far cry from the heroics of your adventuring days. As you work, there are quite a few unflattering incidents that occur, but at the end of the day, they're all something you can laugh about together. Take turns, starting with M, sharing that's what it says, embarrassing stories that happen to your character using any of the prompts. Everyone playing should share at least one. And there are a list of prompts that I won't go through.
Okay. I'm going to go with the prompt, you chased an animal that ran away and ended up getting lost. One of the fish, an abnormally large fish, leapt out and began flopping down the hill towards the cliff.
Perfect.
Obviously, Vesker screamed at the top of Vesker's voice and just went sprinting after this fish, caught it up, flipping and flapping the arms. They tried to use their nimble fingers to hold onto it and get it in the gills, but this fish is so large, it actually ended up dragging Vesker over the edge of the cliff.
And Vesker died.
And Vesker died.
You have to roll a new character.
Vesker fell, caught on to some fishing lines, and was like sliding down a very thick line until they hit the ocean. But was able to slow their fall enough to not escape.
And then the horse yanked you right back up.
right back up. It was a long scream down and then a long scream back up. And just arrived way more broken and bruised than they intended to be. But the horse was scared about the screaming cargo and took off into the forest of palm trees.
With Vesker in tow?
With Vesker in tow. And so it was another like bumpity scream off into the woods, and they got terribly, terribly lost.
And Pharaoh had to go track them down and help them find their way out of the forest.
Wow, I had no idea the fish were that strong.
A fish dragged you all this way into the forest?
Well, it was almost as tall as me, Pharaoh. I didn't want to let that one get away. Chef Cherbs would have served my tail for supper.
Where is this fish that dragged you into the forest?
It's in the... Oh, well, the fish didn't drag me into the forest. The horsey did.
This seems like a long and arduous journey you have been on.
Oh, you have no idea, Pharaoh.
It is okay. I am here now. You can come. I can carry you if you wish. You look like you have a few bumps and bruises.
My ear all over, and I got sap in my ear.
All right. There. It is okay. And Pharaoh sort of half baby, half fireman carries you back through the moving forest of palm trees, I guess, that we have.
Perfection.
And into the tavern. Boots, I need you to fill up a bath for Vesker here.
With what?
One day, Boots, one day. With water, you dolt.
All right, cold water it is.
Not from the pond.
Right from the pond. Here I
go. Awesome.
I have one, I think. It's supposed to be embarrassing. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
I think this works then. So Chef Sherbs is going out to the fish farm to feed the fish. And he knows fish pretty well. They know fish pretty well. So the fish are there, and it seems that unfortunately a couple of wyverns have discovered that we have a fish farm here, and they have flown up and are about to poach some of the fish from our fish farm. And Chef Sherbs is so distraught, he runs around and like flaps his arms at them, trying to get them to like shoo and go away. Shoo! 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 Get away! And they like are startled and start flapping at him, and they fly away, but he ends up going head over heels into the fish pond.
How embarrassing.
Yeah. But, with some dignity remaining, I would say maybe they figure out a way to maybe put some kind of a protective barrier of some sort that'll maybe keep the wyverns, make it a little harder for them to get into the fish. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. The three of you are waiting. You're standing in the tavern. Suddenly the door slams shut, and you see Dugbor with his back to the door, and his skin is covered in like weird red marks, big like welts. And he says, "Everybody, quickly! Grab whatever weapons you can, please." We set the pond up, and I realized, of course, that a pond needs to be a fully functioning ecosystem. It needs to have needs to regulate its own water and all this sort of stuff. And of course, what did I think of? Algae. Of course, algae. Seaweed. All of those beautiful undersea plants that I've learned about since arriving here in this town. Of course, I don't know that much about the seaweed, and so I took inspiration from what I know, which is the forest. And, well, axe is ready, I suppose. Come with me!
I've been waiting for this day. Pharaoh is
run
so
out.
excited.
And you see that slowly stepping out of the pond is a 10-foot tall seaweed creature that is walking out of the pond towards the tavern.
It knows to walk! Like the trees of the forest, it has grown legs and wishes it could kill! Please, we must take it down! Grab your axes! I don't think any fire should work. It's very, very wet.
And he runs towards it. He charges in with an axe in each hand, and he starts chopping at the bases of this seaweed creature as it crawls its way out of the pond.
Do we successfully chop it to pieces? What do we do with the
We all
pieces?
die.
I don't think this fight's for me.
Please, Veska, I'm dying. It's killing me, Veska. You have to help.
Veska's gonna
Please.
pull out a dagger, douse it into one of their poisons, and throw it with pinpoint accuracy. And
They're
I don't
immune to
know.
poison, Veska. That's their one quality. The
Oh.
one thing you should know about seaweed is it cannot be poisoned.
Listen, Doug, I throw things and I poison things. That's all I do. Unless it's got a lock around it, I don't know.
It does.
What?
The cell structure of seaweed is exactly the same as a padlock. You can kill it.
You just want me to get tangled so that you have more things to chop.
Yeah, you're right.
Vesker, I think
Incredible.
he's going to need something for those welts. Maybe you just go mix something up for us.
Bye, dog boy. You dirty old beach.
But I think we managed to kill the thing, and on a second attempt, we'll create a much more welcoming fish ecosystem that does not have a mind of its own.
Wonderful.
All right. Who would you say like tends to this pond the most? Is this Dugbor's like sort of
No, I've got my
brainchild?
own.
And
I've
okay,
got my own fun to look after. It's probably Sherbs and
Sherbs?
Boots, right?
okay, Sherbs and Boots. That's probably true.
Sherbs and Boots, yeah.
All right, Sherbs,
Sherbs
you,
and boots and sherbs and boots.
you
and
see
sherbs and
Pharaoh
boots.
standing next to the pond, and she's kind of looking down into it with great concern. And you see she sort of like starts to lift her leg and then like to dip her toe in and then stops and then sort of looks in the water again and then notices you seeing her and immediately straightens up. I'm doing nothing. What are you doing out here? Why are you here, Sherbs? I'm not
I'm
doing
here to feed
anything
the
here.
fish. What are you doing, Pharaoh? This is very odd behavior.
I was also feeding the fish.
Feeding them your toes.
No, I was... Sherps, you cannot tell anybody this because I have never told anybody this, but I do not know how to swim, and I was thinking maybe I could perhaps learn in this pond because it is small and the fish do not bite, and then I will know how to do it, and then we do not have to discuss this anymore. So that is what I was.
Pharaoh, this is wonderful. You are looking to embrace the water and the sea as you should. Allow me to instruct you in the ways of swimming.
Oh gosh. Pharaoh says that as long as you do not tell anybody, especially Doug. Although I do not know if Doug knows how to swim either. He's never seen the sea until then. But this cannot go around. I would lose my job as lookout. What do they think? They want to have a lookout who can't even go into the ocean to help people?
That makes a lot of sense. And Sherbs is gonna come up to you as if to whisper a secret to you about, this. But if he senses any opening, is actually going to push you into the pond.
Yeah, and she's so like off her guard and awkward in this whole situation that she leans in fully expecting to hear something helpful and then just goes tumbling head first. This pond is, of course, not that deep, and so.
Oh, sorry. The pond is like it's incredibly deep.
Oh, it's really deep.
It's like 200 feet down. It's gigantic. It doesn't look it because of all the plant life.
Doug Bohr just went way too hard on the
2
earth.
feet down. But actually, that's just the top of the seaweeds, and you'll fall.
Oh my
hundreds of
gosh!
feet.
And if
sputtering.
Sherbs knows that, like, he's gonna dive in right after Pharaoh, and like,
Sherbs, I'm dying. This is how I die. I die in my speech. I'm dying.
Stop flailing. Slow movements. Use your hands together in synchronous movement.
Okay. I think. Okay. I'm not dead yet.
No.
Okay. And slowly over the course of the afternoon, you teach Pharaoh the very basics of swimming.
Yeah. I love that.
Okay.
We just have a 200-foot deep pond in our backyard.
Of course we do.
It's also good if we need to get rid of anybody who creates trouble at the tavern. We can weight them down with stones and drop them to the bottom.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So yes, the next section is harvest. Your hard work pays off. Not yet though. The next time that we play Wear and Tear, our cuisine rating goes up by 1 in addition to the upgrade that you pick for Wear and Tear.
Nice.
And yeah, that's what kind of dishes we can make now that we weren't able to before. I think it's not so much new dishes, it's the pure quality of our locally sourced fish. Nothing is fresher than straight from the pond.
Plus, now we can control what our fish are eating, and not just the random stuff.
And with
that lands in the
seaweed,
ocean.
I bet we could probably make pretty mean sushi now too.
Yeah, or all kinds of other seaweed type dishes.
Yeah.
Seaweed chowder. It's a new item.
Seaweed chowder.
I've crossed off my adventure experience, Force of Nature. I still have it, but this is probably the last time I really use it to farm and create. I've set everything up now. And instead, I believe now because I used it, I replace it with a job experience. Which I think will be Handler, which I didn't have before, which is caring for and communicating with animals.
Ooh.
The animals are finally talking to you.
Exactly. Even if they're fish.
What do fish have to say?
Blub, 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 blub.
Riveting.
Now let's play Wear and Tear. Let's cash in that upgrade to our tavern and see what comes of it, I suppose. So, Wear and Tear. There's always something to fix, clean, or pay off. Anyone can play. As a group, we decide what parts of the tavern need fixing and touching up, and what we are adding to the tavern. And after playing this minigame, we may increase one of our tavern ratings by 1, plus the cuisine upgrade that we are going to get from the last game. So, for those keeping track at home, that means our tavern is currently at a 2 in atmosphere, and will be a 2 in cuisine. So,
and then one other thing we choose will raise as well?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
What are the other
Service is the other thing that we have to upgrade. We still only have boots.
I feel like we could improve, add on to, gain a new employee.
Yeah, now that we have the pond and the tavern, Boots is probably, stretched pretty thin. Yeah, and he wasn't really that good at either job to begin with, so it'll be better if he's focused on one.
Good at things.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so we want to go high. So do we all have to pick our at what we're doing to help spread the word and hire a guy?
We gotta describe what we're working on, I suppose. I suppose we could identify different parts of the tavern that we're working on. It sounds like those service is a big thing. I think maybe Pharaoh will offer, since she's the town lookout, she'll keep her eyes out for people who seem like they might be a good, conduct themselves well, and someone who might be looking for such work. So
I think Dugbor, in terms of like helping service, Dugbor is
when I lived by myself, you see, I had to create everything. I had to run my entire life. It was all myself, self-sufficient, they say. And I created various systems to keep everything organized and straightforward. I didn't have time to waste looking for things, and I wanted to have what I wanted at all points, ready where it needs to be. And our kitchen right now, our service area, is a disgrace. I have to... But look, I'll show you. I take an order from here, and then I say, well, I better go tell Chef Sherbs about my order. Where do I go? I have to walk all the way over through here, around the corner, to talk to Sherbs, come back to where I took the order from, get the cutlery that's there, take it to a table. There's not even a clear path to the table. Really, it's a shabby system. Well, if you give me a day, I can get this whole thing in order. I'll cut a hole in the wall here, then we can walk straight through it. You could pass food through. I'll call it a pass. And then we'll put all the cutlery goes here. The plates, they're already set up here. And when we need to wash them, well, why don't we take the washing things and put them in the front behind this counter? And now Sherbs doesn't have... I won't get in, but we won't get in Sherbs' way when we wash the things. And we can just keep clean plates out the front all the time. Does this seem all right? Look, I don't actually care if you think it seems all right. I think it should work, so I'm going to do it. Give me a day. I'll get this into ship shape. I heard some sailors saying that the other day. Ship shape.
I like the jokes with the words.
All right.
You're not allowed to say that, Dugbor.
No? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. Of course you can.
Oh, good. Ship. And Dugbor's going to try and fix the service area for efficiency.
Okay.
While you're trying to fix it, Vesker is hanging out, picking little legs, sitting up on a tall, stool, and handing you nails and tools that you need.
Hey, Dugbor.
Yes.
I saw something when I was out by the fishermen and stuff, and when they were selling fish, they kept a ledger so they knew how many fish they had in a day and of what types. And I was wondering, do you think it's a good idea for Boots to record what people want in some way and pass it to the Chef Sherbs so that Chef Sherbs knows what's supposed to go to what table?
I mean, it sounds like a good idea. There are some problems. I can't read. I don't believe that Boots can read. Now,
he doesn't need to read, he just needs to write.
Well, that's true. That's probably easy. We can teach that half the time. Sherbs, I don't know. Maybe he can. Sherbs.
Yes.
Do you know how to read?
Maybe.
Do you know how to read types of fish? Because honestly, that's all we really need to know is 3R snapper, and then we know.
Pharaoh adds, must be able to read to the her little list of the job description.
Sherbs will suggest a form of iconography or something instead, probably for the meantime. Yeah, you see, they all have different shapes and colors. All you have to do is,
Yes, no, I get it. You can draw the little symbol that references this. She's very smart, Sherbs. She knows what she's doing. All right, so... Stamps.
Stamps!
Stamps. I'll go to the local stampsmith, Jonathan, and he'll make us stamps in the shape of all manner of fishes and dishes. And then all we do is stamp what we need, we give it to Sherbs. They'll make up something wonderful. Now, just be careful. Jonathan's a creep. We don't want to be in there too long. He's an unpleasant man, Jonathan the Stampsmith. But he can make us beautiful stamps.
As we all go to the stampsmith, Farrah has not yet found someone that she feels great about. But the clerk at the stampsmith who greets him actually handles the work because Jonathan is being kind of a jerk and, is like too good for that type of thing.
He's being Jonathan.
Yeah.
He's talking to some
Jonathan.
young woman in the back of the store. She clearly doesn't want to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah. And actually
Jonathan
his clerk is a young woman named Desiree, and she clearly doesn't really feel like she's doing a good job, but you can tell that she just doesn't like working here.
I mean, but it's the only stampsmith in miles.
Yeah, what are you going to do? So then we conduct our business, and Pharaoh says, "You, girl, can I speak with you a moment out over here? I am conducting interview." Who wants to be Desiree?
Will, do you want to be Desiree?
I would love to participate as Desiree.
Excellent. We will do interview now, outside here.
Outside, of course.
All right, so I'm Pharaoh. We are looking for another person to come work at the tavern. You might have seen it. It is the grandeur. It looks like a ship. It is not actually a ship. It is on land. There is a deep pond behind it.
Oh, go in there.
Do you know the one?
What? Well, why is it that there's a ship in the middle of the city? I don't actually never quite understood that.
It is... Vesker once told me it is a metaphor. I do not understand this metaphor, but something. It means something. You can ask them. That is not part of the job. I am talking to you because you seem competent. Is this true?
I suppose that depends upon what you mean, but I do know my figures and my letters and my...
Can you tell the difference between these three icons? Farrah holds up her roughly sketched, of the early iterations of the iconography that Sherbs is coming up with.
I have been working in the Stampsmith for some time, and I believe I can tell the difference between three symbols, yes.
Excellent, excellent. Pharaoh, makes a meaningful note on her little scrap of paper. And how would you rate your tolerance of nonsense?
I work for Jonathan.
This is an excellent point. Not that kind of nonsense, though. I mean, how do you deal with less competent people?
Vesker comes busting in. My tail's on fire! My tail's on fire!
So, yeah, just immediately, pats out the flame. Are you feeling better?
Thanks.
Dougmore comes running in and says,
well,
"Somebody stole my fire! Somebody took my fire and ran it! You there, Vesker! Give me my
out
fire
the window. Back!" And now, how do you feel after seeing that? How would you describe your emotional state?
Seems easy enough.
Excellent. Would you like a job that is not one with Jonathan?
Please.
Okay, can you start in 20 minutes?
Please allow me to go give my 5-minute notice.
Excellent. We will be happy to have you. I will make sure that there is a clean apron for you somewhere.
Yes, that will be important.
And we bring Desiree onto our crew.
Sounds like Desiree will be like the only competent person in this entire place.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah.
Sherps is very competent at cooking.
Yeah.
We've now upgraded our service, our atmosphere, and our cuisine. I guess let me read where our ratings put us at now. So cuisine, we now have a modest kitchen and new friends at the market. Oh.
Mhm.
Our atmosphere, a little plain but homey. Not a bad place to get a good night's sleep after the nice stuff that the Grand Duchess has shipped us. And service, an experienced line cook and a good waitstaff. Once we brought Desiree on, she whipped Boots into shape as much as it would be possible to whip him into shape. And
Yes, sir. Yes, I'll do it now. I'm ready. Yep. Of course. Give me the plates. I'll take them out. I know how to follow orders. Yes, sir. I have one good arm for saluting and one for balancing. I'll do great.
Now, Boots, there's no need to be saluting. Focus on delivery of the food.
All right. I will never salute again. Or both hands on food at all times.
Yes, perfect.
And that is wear and tear. That was fun. This was a fun little game. We just kind of dipped our toes in this 200-foot pond of Stewpot. But I had fun. I hope you guys did too.
I'm a little salty. I'm a little salty we didn't get our beach episode, but you know.
The whole thing was at the ocean, so at
true.
least there's that.
True,
And
true.
as we've established, Baker's Beach doesn't actually have a true beach. So
It's just cliffs into water.
yeah. The way that this game would play out fully is we go through and as soon as all of us have exchanged all of our adventurer experiences for town experiences, we wrap up the game and say farewell to our cute little retired heroes. But we'll leave it where it is for now with our tavern keepers up and coming. It's going to be the next big place, the only big place in Baker's Beach, the HMT Grandeur.
Mm-hmm.
People will come from miles around.
Yeah. When the Wyvern egg economy dries up, people still be turning up just to buy some fish.
Oh yeah. And we'll get the little scrimshaw carvers to start making little ships that look like our
little
tavern.
grangers.
Little baby grandeurs for people to take home as souvenirs.
That's actually adorable. We saw
Until 5
maps
years.
of where our star is.
Yeah. Until too late down the track where the tree gets bored and walks and destroys the entire tavern as it walks back to the forest, ripping the walls out,
Taking the
crushing
tiller
the
with
kitchen
it.
underfoot. By this point, we've been nurturing this tree so well, it is the biggest tree we've ever seen. And it just destroys the tavern as it leaves. And that's the end of our journey.
I like that ending. All right. With that, thank you guys for playing. Really quick again, Bill, where can people find you?
If you want to hear more of the stupid things that I do, you can check out Escape This Podcast for audio escape rooms. You can check out Solve This Murder for audio murder mysteries. And go wishlist Rise of the Golden Idol if you want to play a fun detective puzzle game when it comes out.
I'm very excited. And Will, where can people find you?
Yeah, as Bill so helpfully pointed out earlier tonight, I am the Daedalus of Adept Icarus, so you can find Adept Icarus on all pretty much socials and at adepticarus.com.
Yay! Well, thank you both so much for joining us. This was really fun and cute. And I hope everyone watching, listening, I hope you enjoyed Stewpot and that you'll check it out. It's a cute game. I think it works really well too for maybe like the end of a campaign. If you've just wrapped up with characters that you've played with for
Very
a long
fun.
time and you kind of want to
That'd be
see,
very fun.
you know, what the epilogue is, that would be really cute. So yeah, check it out. This was just a little sampling. We hope you enjoyed it. Maybe we'll revisit this sometime in the future. But until then, what did we say, Em?
Go
We
take
should
a long
hungry.
rest.
take a long rest, drink plenty of stew, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.